Hello and welcome to my podcast. I am Namubiru Sabuga, but you all can call me Nami, and I'm coming at you live from Occupational Therapy School, and I will be discussing my life as an occupational therapy student, but more specifically today, I'm talking about what service means to me and how it is encompassed in this field. I hope I don't bore anyone to death with my rambling, but I feel like I can convey my message best over platforms like these that allow you to speak more openly and freely. So I will just be briefly going over some of my findings about service, what it means to me, and how it can potentially impact my career as a future occupational therapy practitioner, and also in my current occupational therapy schooling as well. But first, let's start out with my definition and the components of my definition of service. For starters, one main belief that I hold about service is that it is 100% selfless, no ulterior motives or things like that. If the act of serving someone is not selfless, then it is not service. It is simply a favor that in the end only serves one person. This concept relates to my formation as a client-centered OT because it helps me to keep the goal of client-centeredness at the forefront of my mind. A brief definition about to lay out the scene, the differences between selfish and selfless acts of service I can give was in my high school experience with service hours. So in high school, we were required to do service hours, and my friends and I would always be doing service projects and activities that were very meaningful to us and that were fruitful in the sense that we really wanted to help these communities out and we wanted nothing in return, no service hours, etc. But for other people in my class, they simply did service opportunities to get service hours and to check off boxes. So they did have ulterior motives as to why they participated in service. So I just wanted to really highlight the definition of selfish versus selfless service because it is very important to note. Another main belief that I hold about service is that it needs to be culturally informed. One of my professors, the great Dr. Michael Awama, once said that if occupational therapy is to develop into a service to universally benefit all, more culturally relevant epistemologies, theories, and practice methods may be required. I just wanted to highlight this because I thought it was really important that he mentioned cultural sensitivity in this sense. The reason why is simply due to the fact that not every client we work with comes from a Western society like myself and my colleagues, or even hold the same views and way of life. We have to know that just like the globe has many different people, us as OTs in turn will see a range of different clients from different backgrounds. And it is crucial to understand that part of the client-centeredness that stems from learning from the client as an expert in their own lives and rituals is cultural sensitivity. Even the concept and importance of occupation and its enactment differs across cultures. So from all this, I've conjured a definition of service, a working definition, mind you. That is, service is the selfless and culturally aware process that allows OT practitioners to enable their clients to be able to participate and engage in meaningful occupation. But a side note, since that's the first part of my definition, this concept of participation in occupation for all is better known as occupational justice. I thought it was relevant to explore this a little more and highlight occupational justice and how it plays a role in my definition of service. Occupational therapist Townsend and Wilcox said that occupational justice includes access to and participation in a full range of meaningful and enriching occupations afforded to others, including opportunities for social inclusion and resources to participate in occupations that satisfy personal, health, or societal needs. Now, occupational justice is not something that everyone experiences. The opposite of that is occupational injustice, which is what us as OTs are fighting against. So occupational justice is really a big piece of my definition because I believe that everyone has the right to participate in meaningful occupations. And as OT practitioners and OT students as well, we have the resources and advocacy tools to be able to act selflessly, just like my definition of service notes, and advocate for services and needs of all of our clients, regardless of their background. But going back to my main working definition, the first part I will reiterate for everyone. The first part of my definition was, service is the selfless and culturally aware process that allows OT practitioners to enable their clients to be able to participate and engage in meaningful occupation. Now, adding on to that, it also has to be done in the most client-centered way possible and allows for the therapist to be able to do with the client, not to or for the client. Now, I mention this because I thought it was very important and a common theme in occupational therapy because OT isn't about one-sided manipulation or a skewed client-practitioner power dynamic. Also, service and occupational therapy specifically should be a tool used to show and highlight the importance of occupational justice. So since service is the act of helping others, like I said, in the most selfless and culturally relevant way, through someone's gifts, time, talent, and treasure, you can promote occupational justice through serving others and collaborating on goals that best benefit them. Now, what does that mean for occupational therapy in its practice? But more specifically, how does this working definition of service shape my education here at Duke University and my APEX 2 fieldwork experience? Well, when thinking about this, my working definition embodies aspects that highlight not only the important parts of client-centeredness and patient autonomy, but it emphasizes the importance of culturally aware practitioners to promote occupational justice. Let me reiterate that. The importance of being culturally aware in order to promote occupational justice. I can use this definition as a foundation for all of my interactions inside and outside of occupational therapy school and beyond. In a more concrete way, my therapeutic use of self, I think, directly ties into this definition that I have created about service, and is the way that I anticipate service will shape my education. Therapeutic use of self, from the great words of Gary Kielhofner, is means for encouraging clients to engage in occupation. So the therapeutic use of self is what creates a meaningful relationship between the therapist and the patient in order to produce meaningful participation and progress in occupations that matter to the patient. So this therapeutic use of self is definitely implied in my definition of service, even though not super explicit, but I can use this to help aid in my interactions with the population in APEX 2 fieldwork, because I can approach any situation with a lens of selflessness and cultural sensitivity that can in turn help me to connect with clients to facilitate the best care possible. In my schooling here at Duke OTD, I can use service to shape my education because it can give me the guiding framework to help best navigate potential case studies and other things in different classes, along with keeping my goal/overall mindset when talking about and enacting parts of occupational therapy, client-centered and occupation-centered as well. So these definitions that I've conjured about service and my working definition as well really embody how I feel that my trajectory in this program and as a practitioner will go, because I do hold service dear to my heart, and I do believe that I can carry this definition and the therapeutic use of self with me to best help enable my clients and get the best out of this schooling process. Thank you for listening. I have no idea what this podcast will be called, but I hope I didn't bore anyone with this little segment of mine, but I did appreciate the topic, and I do enjoy talking about service and the components of it. So, hope you tune in next time. Alrighty, guys. See you next week. Bye-bye.